Oh my gosh, Alex. You will not believe what just happened to me, and I am still trying to process it. My brain feels completely rewired.
Oh, that sounds like a story that comes with a dramatic soundtrack and maybe a documentary crew. Was it about food again, or did you finally get stuck in a particularly aggressive revolving door?
Always about food, you know me too well. My life seems to revolve around culinary adventures and misadventures. But this time, it was a whole theatrical production, an emotional roller coaster just to get lunch.
A theatrical production? Seriously? What happened? Did they accidentally give you a salad when you clearly asked for a triple-decker sandwich, or was it a total menu disaster of epic proportions?
Worse, much worse. I messed up my order, or at least, I thought I had committed some grave culinary sin that warranted a public inquiry.
Wait, you thought you messed up your own order? How does that even work, Emma? You are usually so meticulous, so precise with your food choices, like a gourmet architect.
Okay, so I went to that new sandwich place, you know, the one with the bright yellow awning, the perpetually long line, and the smell of freshly baked bread?
Yeah, the one with the special sauce that everyone raves about, the secret ingredient. It is really, really good, a true game changer for lunchtime, a taste sensation.
Exactly. So I finally get to the front, feeling confident, rehearsed even, and I say, "Can I get the spicy chicken with no pickles, please?"
Sounds pretty straightforward to me. No pickles is a perfectly normal, widely accepted request. What is the problem there? Is this some kind of pickle cult?
Well, the guy behind the counter, he just stopped. His pen hovered over the order pad. He stared at me for a long, uncomfortable second. And then he says, very slowly, with a tone of utter disbelief, "No pickles?"
Huh, like he was utterly baffled? Like you had asked for a sandwich made of moon rocks and stardust? Was his jaw on the floor?
Yes. His eyebrows practically shot up to his hairline, performing an Olympic feat. And then, he leaned in conspiratorially, almost whispering, like he was sharing a state secret, and goes, "Are you sure?"
What, seriously? About pickles? That is absolutely wild. Who questions someone about pickles? Are they some sacred, ancient ingredient, a delicacy not to be trifled with?
I know, right? My mind was racing, trying to recall if I had ever heard of a sandwich where pickles were non-negotiable. I was like, yeah, I am pretty sure. I really, really do not like pickles. My voice even wavered a little. I felt so flustered.
That is hilarious, but also incredibly relatable. It is like they are daring you to defy their culinary norms. What did he say then? Did he try to convince you to embrace the pickle, to see its hidden beauty?
He just nodded slowly, like he was processing some profound philosophical dilemma, or perhaps the inherent tragedy of a pickle-free existence. Then he finally wrote it down. But I felt so weird, Alex, like I had committed a social faux pas of epic proportions, a culinary heresy.
Wow, Emma, that is a classic English ordering moment, actually. That subtle, yet powerfully unsettling, second-guessing. It is almost a rite of passage for language learners.
It is? You mean, like, the whole, "Are you sure?" thing, or just the general vibe of confusion and judgment? I felt like I was on trial for my dietary preferences.
Not exactly that specific phrasing, though that is a gem to add to the collection. But, you know, sometimes you say something, feeling perfectly clear, perfectly confident, and the reaction you get just makes you question everything you thought you knew about English, about sandwiches, about life.
Oh, totally. Like, did I use the wrong word? Is "no pickles" not a standard modification? Am I speaking a completely different language, one only I understand? The self-doubt spirals so quickly.
Exactly. And that is usually when my brain starts doing linguistic gymnastics, trying to reanalyze every syllable, and I get all nervous and self-conscious about ordering food in English. It is a minefield of potential awkwardness, a linguistic gauntlet.
Oh, me too. It is wild, because it is such a common, everyday interaction, right? Everyone orders food, multiple times a day, in every culture.
Right, but it is also precisely where a lot of those tiny, insidious confusions can pop up, because the stakes feel surprisingly high when hunger is involved. Your stomach starts rumbling, and suddenly, clarity feels impossible.
The accents alone can be a formidable challenge. You think you are saying something perfectly, with perfect enunciation, and then crickets. Or a blank stare.
Oh, for sure. I remember once I was at a coffee shop, feeling pretty good about my English, feeling articulate, and I confidently asked for a large latte.
Okay, sounds like a pretty standard request to me. Nothing out of the ordinary there, no exotic ingredients, just a simple size.
And the barista, this really friendly-looking guy, just kept blinking at me, tilting his head, saying, "A what? A what? Can you say that again, please? I am not quite catching it."
No way. A large latte is like the bread and butter of coffee shop orders. It is practically a universal beverage, a global coffee staple.
I know, and I just kept repeating myself, getting a little louder each time, which probably just made me sound more aggressive, not clearer. My face was getting hot, I could feel the flush.
Oh, I have absolutely done that. The universal, misguided belief that if I just shout it, they will magically understand my perfectly clear pronunciation, which suddenly sounds alien.
Yeah, it almost never works. In fact, it often makes it worse. Turns out, I was saying, large E, with a distinct R sound at the end, almost like two syllables, instead of the softer, more blended, large. Very slight difference, but enough to create a complete communication breakdown. N.
Wow, see? That is the kind of thing that makes you want to just give up on speaking and just point dramatically at the menu board, or even just mime drinking coffee.
Honestly, sometimes I do. Or I will just fall back on the number 3, please, hoping it is something I actually want, or at least something edible. It is a desperate measure.
Haha, smart. I mean, sometimes the simplest things, the most basic words, are the trickiest because the nuances are so subtle, so easily missed.
They really are. Like, what about when you want to modify something beyond just no pickles? When you want to truly customize your order to make it uniquely yours?
Oh, that is a whole other level of linguistic acrobatics. Can I have the burger, but, no cheese, and also, like, extra onions, and maybe swap the fries for a side salad, if that is possible. And could I get the dressing on the side?
And then they repeat it back, sometimes with a questioning tone, sometimes with a look of mild terror, and you are like, wait, did I say all that correctly, or did they just completely misunderstand the no cheese part? And now I am getting extra cheese?
Or worse, they just nod, with that blank, almost robotic customer service smile, and you have absolutely no idea if they actually processed any of your complex instructions. It is a moment of pure uncertainty.
Yeah, that is the truly scary part. You just have to put all your faith in their interpretation and hope for the best. It is a leap of faith, a culinary trust fall.
And then it arrives at your table, a moment of truth, and it is like, surprise. Extra cheese and no onions, with a side of mashed potatoes you did not even ask for, and a dressing that is definitely not on the side.
Exactly. I had that happen once with a pizza, a truly tragic event, a culinary betrayal. I specifically asked for no olives, because I absolutely despise them, they are my food nemesis.
And, do not leave me hanging, Alex. What was the olive outcome? I am on the edge of my seat.
It came covered in olives. I mean, absolutely swimming in them, a black olive ocean on my pepperoni pizza. It was a nightmare, a briny disaster. Every slice was a struggle.
Oh, that is rough. What did you do? Did you send it back with a dramatic flourish, a polite but firm declaration?
I just picked them off, you know? One by one, a painstaking, meticulous process that took half my mealtime. I was too hungry, and frankly, too polite, too intimidated, to send it back. The thought of explaining it again, of causing a fuss.
See, that is me. I get so awkward about sending food back. It feels like such a huge ordeal, a confrontation I am not prepared for, a public speaking event I did not sign up for.
Right? It feels like you are challenging their authority, questioning their competence, and risking a major scene, especially if the place is busy and there is a line forming behind you.
It does, especially if you are not super confident in your English. You are already feeling vulnerable, trying to get your order right, and now you have to negotiate a mistake, to advocate for yourself.
Yeah, because you have to not only explain why it is wrong, but then articulate precisely what you actually wanted, all while trying to sound polite but firm, apologetic but resolute.
And then they might ask you, are you sure you did not say olives? And you are like, I am 99% certain I said no olives, but now I am questioning my entire memory, my sanity, my very existence.
Haha, exactly. You question your whole life choices, your very existence, all over a pizza topping. It is a profound existential crisis wrapped in a cheesy, olive-filled package.
It is just funny how something so simple, something you do every day in your native language without a second thought, can feel so high stakes and fraught with peril in another.
It really is, especially when you are hungry. That just amplifies everything, turns a minor misunderstanding into a colossal culinary catastrophe, a truly dire situation.
Oh, definitely. Hunger makes you brave enough to order in the first place, but also, super vulnerable to any perceived judgment or confusion. It is a double-edged sword.
True. One phrase that always helps me, a real workhorse of ordering, a linguistic Swiss Army knife, is, "Can I get?" It is polite, direct, and universally understood.
Yeah, that is a good one. Very common, very versatile. I use that one a lot. It feels natural, like it just rolls off the tongue.
Or, "I would like," which is a bit more formal, perhaps a touch more elegant, more refined, but also totally fine and perfectly acceptable in almost any setting.
I always feel a bit stiff saying, I would like. I do not know why. It feels like I am performing a Shakespearean play at the counter, or addressing royalty.
I totally get that. "Can I get?" feels more casual, more natural, like you were just having a normal, friendly conversation with another human, without any pretense.
Yeah, and then, if I am really lost, if my brain just freezes and all my vocabulary vanishes, I just go, what do you recommend?
Oh, smart. That is a brilliant tactic, a stroke of genius. That throws the ball entirely into their court, shifts the conversational burden, and puts them in charge.
Totally. And then I can just point and say, okay, I will have that one, or, that sounds good, I will try that. No complex phrasing needed, no linguistic tightrope walk.
Haha, a classic move. Saves you from having to pronounce anything tricky, or string together a complicated modification request. It is pure genius, a true survival skill.
Exactly. No more, large latte moments for me, unless I am specifically trying to confuse someone on purpose, just for a laugh.
Well, unless they have a super complicated, 20-syllable name for their recommendation, which, let us be honest, sometimes happens in those artisanal, overly descriptive cafes.
Oh, do not even get me started on those ridiculously verbose, overly descriptive menu names. That is a whole other episode, a linguistic labyrinth of pretentious ingredients.
For sure, but hey, at least you got your pickle-less sandwich in the end, right? The mission was accomplished, despite the momentary pickle inquisition, the intense interrogation.
I did, and it was absolutely delicious, perfectly satisfying. No weird pickle aftertaste, just pure spicy chicken bliss. A small victory, but a mighty one.
Good. See? Small victories, Emma. Every successful order, every clear communication, is a triumph in the grand linguistic journey.
Small victories, indeed, in the vast, sometimes bewildering, occasionally hilarious world of English food ordering. It is definitely a journey, Alex.
A delicious, sometimes confusing, often hilarious, and always educational journey. And one we are all on together, one bite at a time.